Yeah, let me see if HP lists it out here. Let me see what.
Let me see. Custom.
I'd imagine they would help. Yeah, power supply. Look at that. Right there.
Yeah.
50 watt, 85% efficiency. I don't know why Apple doesn't list that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and that's important to know because you know whether or not you can stick 3 or 4 Crossfire cards in there or other shit. Because I mean, if you have to start gutting things like the power supply inside and all of that, so I mean, basically you're rebuilding the machine. Actually, I have a question on that because it's been a long time since I've taken a Mac apart, at least a Mac Pro. Could you stick a standard PC power supply in there? Does the motherboard use the same connector? I don't honestly know anymore. Power PCs didn't, but that was a whole different thing. Do these Intel motherboards use the standard 24?
I remember the last time I did it, it was
because you know what I'm talking about, the 24 plus 4 plus 6 or plus 8 pins. It's like if it doesn't use that connector, even if you went and bought a 1200 watt,
the connector.
Even if you went and bought it.
Everything else, the MUX and all that is the same.
Well, I know everything else would be, but is the motherboard the same power connector that a standard ATX or expanded ATX board is?
No, I think the motherboard plugs into a slot, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, is it possible to get an adapter to convert that to standard ATX or extended ATX pin connector? Because if you can't do that, then you're stuck with whatever power supply Apple put in there, and you can't make the machine more powerful, even if you need to.
Well, I've swapped power supplies on them. The way I think there's a bridge that you have a plug, and I think it goes into the connector, and then that's like a single bus that the motherboard plugs into. I mean, because the last time the power supply seemed very normal.
Okay.
This was like 3 years ago when I did it, and that was on a...
as far as I can tell, they haven't changed any of that stuff. So if it was true 3 years ago, it's probably still true now. I doubt they've changed that.
You know, I'm looking at Other World Computing here and trying to see if they even have power supplies.
Yeah, it's like, honestly, as far as power supplies go these days, the one I've liked as of late, as far as if you need a workhouse power supply and you need to do power things like that, I like the Ultra X4 series. They have a 850, a 1050, a 1250, and then if you have a big enough case for it, a 1600 watt. The 1600 watt is not a standard size though, so it's not. But those are very clean power supplies. They have a lifetime warranty. You only plug the cables in you absolutely need. It's entirely modular. I'm sure there's some equivalent Apple side and some after market add-on, but it's one of those. If you're paying that kind of money for the machine, why do I need to add all these features again?
The Mac, actually, they calculated in volts.
Okay.
Yeah, let's see here.
Just to be different, right?
Where is it? I just saw it. Darn it, I just saw it. Yeah, line voltage, well, that's 120 AC, 200 and 240 volt AC wide range power supply input voltage. Frequency runs from 50 Hz to 60 Hz single phase.
Okay, but that's all power supplies. They run on 120 or 240 electric.
I know that. I'm not talking about that. Let's see. 50 Hz. No, I guess they don't have it in volts. Running system. No. Talks about humidity. Doesn't even talk about efficiency. You know that?
Mm-hmm.
No efficiency rating or anything. Yeah,
well,
so
no, because
so we're just talking about US one, and then Europe's and Europe 200, 240.
Yeah, Europe's 240. I think Australia. I forget if Australia's 240 or not. I know parts of Africa and Asia are also 240. It just depends how many times they wrap the thing out there on the pole.
Yeah, it's a current maximum of 12 amps low voltage range or 6 amps high voltage.
Yeah, which it's like the information you care about on a power supply is what watt it is. How, in some cases, how many connectors it has, but usually if it's stuck in the machine, it's got at least enough connector. If it's got the right wattage to support it, it's got the connectors to support it, usually.
There are no fault. I'm sorry, I'm reading this thing about, I'm reading in a forum where someone's asking the same damn question.
Well, no, because this is an important question. It's like, okay, does it have what it needs to support this? The other thing you care about, actually, is its smart management capabilities. Because some of these power supplies can sound like a turbine going off. And some of them have smart management where they can run as quiet as hell. Which can be important.
All Apple's thing is their current runs on U.S. current and European current,
which covers the planet.
Gives, I mean, it gives you the operating temperature and the maximum altitude.
Well, that's important. So I can't operate it in space. Well, that's good to know.
Wow. Oh well, I thought I was onto something.
Yeah, you're onto that. It's not there. Let's see. What was the other thing?
I mean, check it out. They have a whole thing: electrical and operating requirements. The whole thing. But it fails to tell you its efficiency rating and watts,
which everybody else gives you. Well, okay. That's that's something that would irk me a lot, especially if I needed a Pro Machine and I'm in the Apple camp. Just because I wouldn't know what I can actually do with this system till I buy it, and then I have to pay the restock fee or go buy a custom power supply. I have half a mind to go up to Best Buy and take the side off of one without asking, just to find out.
Lord. Let me see if this produces something. Hold on here. Oops. It's in single phase.
Out of curiosity,
12 low. No, that's not enough information. I was trying to do a conversion, but never mind.
Yeah, it didn't. It's like, do you own a Mac Pro, or do you just own an iMac?
Okay. The old generation.
Okay, yeah.
Before DDR3.
Well, then that brings up a question here, in that, I mean, does not knowing this stuff bug you as somebody who's bought Mac Pros and stuff?
Yeah, but I haven't tinkered with this machine. I used to, like my G5, and I would have to go through it to find out the power supply.
Okay.
And I found out it was like I think it was 650 watts. And I really mess with my G5 a lot. And but this one I haven't really. I've opened it twice to. I've had it for 2 years, so I do an annual cleaning.
Yeah, it's important to clean these things out so they don't melt and other stuff. Well, it's like here's the other thing that always bugged me about the Macs as opposed to the PC side in this thing. And again, this is going back to the sign. It's unless that audio is a lot smarter than it looks. I mean, the audio on these things has always seemed overly basic. It's like the two things you have to add. You have to add RAID and you have to add audio. It's not like it's hard to do that, but it's one of those, why? Why do you have to do that? Because even on, I mean, it's...
if this website is correct, and it's a supplier, it says that the power supply on the Mac Pro is 980 watts.
Okay. So, assuming they put the right connectors on, which they probably did, it probably... Well, then that poses the question, then why aren't they selling the option for 4? I guess they figured nobody would buy it.
The option to...
Have more than 2?
Oh, it give you extra Linux stuff. Like if you're going to put video cards in and stuff, it spits out the standard. I think you get 2 or 3 or something like that that come out. I have to look in here. If you even look, you get an extra, Linux that come out.
Yeah.
I put on my T5. There's like a little, I remember there was like a little back slot, and then you see they're wrapped in black, and they come out like, from the back, and right where the area is where your hard drives would go, or your video cards would go.
Right.
They're always taped in black, and then you'll have the extra mounts.
Okay.
Plug your video cards and stuff in.
I guess they figured nobody would buy them from them, so they just didn't offer the option. It's...
and I did buy PCB. Now you're making me think back, Yeah, I did buy extra Linux connectors, the splitters and stuff.
Right.
Because there weren't enough in the G5.
Oh, we're talking about the G5 though versus this. But that's the thing. It's there's pros and cons to that both way. It's like if you include extra connectors you're not using, they're just there to get in the way. On the other hand, if somebody's going to use them, it's just
Yeah.
Let me see. What was the thing they included on?
Yeah, good question, man. I haven't been in the new ones. Let me see if this. I'm trying to see if there's a picture.
There isn't a picture of the
black mullets. There's always this black. I remember it being a black mullets. Thing. Yeah, here you go. This picture shows you. Here you go. This is probably a good picture. I'll email it to you.
Okay.
This comes off the power supply here, or is that the optical drive? No, that's optical drive. Okay, here's for the hard drives and the power muxes that you get. So, well, let's let me paste the location. Okay, there's your hard drive. Mux comes out for your optional connections. You can kind of see one tucked away.
Oh, why we wait on that to show up whenever the heck it does?
Did you get it yet? No.
I haven't got it. Anyways, it's the other thing.